Hi everyone. So when it gets to this time of year, which is Christmas, New Year, I always feel like I need a cleanse. Everyone else is eating and drinking, and I'm like, I just want to detox. So this year I decided to do a liver and gallbladder cleanse, and wow, very, very powerful technique. So, and there's a book that I got the technique from, and I think you can even jump on YouTube or wherever, and this got different techniques. So this was the book that I was looking for. And it's so interesting, every little detail in the book that explains it. And the more you read about it, the more you're like, okay, this probably applies to me, and probably I should be doing that. So yeah, so I was doing a little bit of a kidney cleanse as well with some kidney tea with all these different herbs that cleanse out any stones or crystallized salts within the kidneys to begin with. And then I went into the gallbladder liver cleanse day. So this began with a colonic. So even my experience, my whole energy field shifted just with that within the morning. So my whole intention was let's just clean out all the old rubbish from my body, everything that's not serving me, everything that's making me a little bit sluggish. And I was starting to feel it. It's like I'm so in tune with my body. I could feel it kind of almost puff up. And I was like, this isn't really me. What's going on here? And I was like, oh, it is me. It's a layers of old cells and things that are just stuck. And I've done water fasting and I've done even dry fasting where you don't eat or drink. And they created really big shifts within my body. But the thing is with water fasting and dry fasting, I'm not sure how much of the actual accumulated toxin stones that can be removed from that, or whether you'd have to do it for a really, really long period of time. Whereas I found with this liver gallbladder cleanse, wow, it is quick. It is a fast way that doesn't even make you feel depleted in any way, that can clean out so many toxins. So the day began as normal, but I was drinking lots and lots of water, keeping hydrated. Around midday, I went for a colonic, which cleaned out my whole body. I had a tension point because I was feeling into my digestive system, feeling into what was stuck. This beautiful lady was doing the session for me, and we could feel the blockage on my left side as we just gently massage this old deposit of energy or waste released, and my I had like literally tingles all down my left side, and I felt amazing just from that. Then I went home, and then you don't eat then from after about 1 o'clock. You don't eat anything, but you can continue to drink. And then you create what I created was like four different shots of Epsom salts. So the Epsom salts is to allow the gallbladder or the liver ducts and things to actually relax and open to allow any stones to flow out. So there's a bit of a science behind this in the book. So I had, oh yes, and the week before while I was doing the kidney cleanse, there's also malic acid, which is in balsamic, not balsamic, vinegar, apple cider vinegar, and it's also in apples or apple juice. So it recommends to drink any of them, or you can actually just take it, the supplement of it, which softens all the stones to make it more easier for them to come out the ducts. So this was the process that I was doing like the week before the actual cleanse day. And then on the cleanse day, making these four solutions of Epsom salts with all the measurements that it gives you. I can probably put these in the notes if you like, or you can literally buy the guy's book. Um, so these were all shit that were all laid out. And I found because Epsom salt's it's not really nice to drink. So I kind of made some shots of it. And I did the shot and then followed down with the water to wash that down. So you start the first Epsom salt shot at 6 p.m. in the evening, and then you just kind of just carry on. And then at 8 o'clock, you do the same. You do another Epsom salt shot. And then when I've got the book in front of me for all the notes, even though I kind of know it. And then I kind of like, it says about 9:30 at night, you can start making your solution. It's so easy to make, though. You really don't need that much time to do it. So the solution that creates the big purge, the big kind of flush, is olive oil and mixed with lemon juice. And then you mix this together in almost like a pint jar, shake it up so the olive oil and the lemon juice all completely mix up. And then you just scald the lot at 10 o'clock in the evening. And then you just lie down on your left side or on your back as long as your head's higher than your stomach. And then it says, do not get up for at least 2 hours. So then you just lie down for the whole time. So you suppose the cleanse is supposed to start in the morning when you wake up, but mine actually started in the middle of the night. So I started to flush these stones out at about probably 1 o'clock in the morning. And then it continued to flush out for about 2 hours. And then I went back to bed. So my body's quite clean and quite responsive. I've done a lot of cleanses before. I don't know whether that made me actually have the initial release earlier or not. So if you just sleep all the way through, you'll just wake up in the morning and then the process will begin. But I did find that even though I went back to sleep after that, in the morning when I drank water, I actually drank more Epsom salt. So this is another shot of Epsom salt that you have at what time was that at? That was at 6 o'clock in the morning. So you wake up, have another Epsom salt, and then you just go about your day again. And then at 10 o'clock, you have another Epsom salt. So it's like the evening and the morning is totally kind of taken up. But you can obviously do lots of things in between. You don't want to go too far because you will want to run to the toilet and allow everything to flush out. So because a lot of mine happened in the night, I did notice lots of stuff coming out, but I wasn't sure how many stones were coming out. There was lumps and bumps in there, as would be when you go to the toilet. So yeah, it was interesting to wonder what actually fully came out. So yeah, and then after that, it was not, so that was on the Friday, and then I kind of let my body process. Where I had to drink a lot of water, so you feel very dehydrated after this flush. You go to the toilet so many times. Mine even probably even lasted into the next day where it was quite loose and wanted to keep flushing out. And then I went back for another colonic on the Monday. And on the Monday, you could see just tiny little stones coming out through that tube when it was cleansing out. And then another really huge release of all the old stuff coming out. And I felt absolutely amazing, and I still do. It was one of them where you, even on the first night, actually, and this happens to me quite often anyway because of the work that I do, but my body felt so full of light. When you close your eyes in a dark room and all you can see is light within your own body, that was kind of the process that was going on from the first day. And that continued. And even now, I feel very light. I would say that anything that I was holding, it's like my waist shrunk. Everything in me, kind of like any fluid, any toxins, it's like all my body seems to be almost skinny. I remember I kind of got up and I was like, kids, they were like, oh, Mom, you're so skinny. And everything, not that I'm big anyway to begin with, but it was like everything had just kind of dissolved out of me. And it was just this old junk. Like it just felt like just anything that had accumulated from my youth. And when I grew up in the United Kingdom, there's a very drink culture there. Everything was drink, and I started drinking alcohol from a young age and was in the binge drinking. Not that I was an alcoholic, because I remember feeling like, oh, do I really want to drink? Like it wasn't something that my body ever wanted to do, but in my youth, it was kind of like, well, everyone else is doing it. I want to go out with my friends. Let's go and have fun, and you would drink. So that is kind of a lot of the things that create these stones within our livers and our gallbladder and in all kinds of different, yeah, all the kind of yuck that builds up through basically drinking things that aren't good for our body and eating high processed foods and things like that when I was younger. And I've been eating clean for a long time, but it's interesting to see that you can only get rid of the stones when you do a certain process, because otherwise they're just locked in there and they're stuck. So this was massive. I absolutely thought it was like the most, it sounds quite complicated. I felt like it was a really, really easy cleanse. As long I just had alarms set on my phone with each of the times. So whenever I was doing anything or maybe watching a movie with my children that evening, the alarm would just go off. I'd go and have my shot. Exactly, just go to bed at 10 o'clock. Everything was quite easy, very, very quick and easy cleanse that has the most quickest results I've ever seen. In comparison to a water fast where you need to do it for like at least 3 days, and the same even with a dry fast where you want to do it for at least 3 days before you get any kind of big, deep impact of the toxin release. Whereas this, it was like the process was only like, from an evening till the next morning. And then it was kind of just adjusting back to normal as your body's still purging and purging and purging. Such an easy process. And you feel quite, I don't know, your body doesn't feel depleted at all from it. So it's very, very healthy process to do if you are looking to clean out your body. And a lot of conditions can be caused because when we get backed up bowels, then you get backed up liver and gallbladder and they start to suffer. And then if you don't have the proper function of the liver and the gallbladder, then you don't get the release of bile that is needed to fully digest your food. And then you're not getting all the nutrients from the food and the supplements that you do take. So your body could be in malnutrition, even though you're eating the most beautiful things, because you are not able to fully digest that. So that's been an interesting experience for me, and I would highly recommend this. And if you've done this cleanse before, leave me a comment. If you've got any questions, happy to answer any questions that are coming up. Thanks for listening and enjoy your cleansing journey.